What's up guys, Dirk here from Intelligent Cryptocurrency. Today's video is super important because I want to address the most common scams and the most common ways that you can get hacked and that you can lose your crypto if you're not careful. Now, fortunately, if you are aware about what these common methods are, it's pretty easy to avoid that. And these are the most common ways that hackers will steal your crypto, because most of the time it's really not about them, cracking the blockchain or your wallet password or anything like that. It's mostly because of very easy attempts that can be avoided, where you think that people are good and you trust people too much by clicking on a link or installing a piece of software, and that is basically how you end up losing your crypto. Most of the time, that is the most common thing. So in this video, I'm going to go through those common ways that you can get your crypto stolen so that you can try and avoid this. Please be careful with this. I've been hearing from quite a few people lately, that they've been hacked or their crypto has been stolen, and most of it is due to these reasons that I'm about to share with you in this video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dirk, and if you want no BS crypto content, please consider subscribing to the channel below. Click the notification bell. It's completely free to do. Now, before we get started, 30 seconds. My Black Friday special offer is ending at midnight Eastern time on Monday, 30 November. So that's tomorrow, or maybe today if you're watching this on Monday. And basically, if you join before the timer hits 0, the link is in the description, intelligentcryptocurrency.com. You will have lifetime access to my entire membership, everything I've created and everything I will add to the membership in future. It's backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk for you to join. If you don't like it, you're unhappy, email me before the 60 days are up and I will give you back your money in full, no questions asked. So would love to have you join us inside the community, and hopefully I'll see you on the inside. All right, so like I said, I've been getting messages from people, and I've been finding out that there's quite a few that have been hacked for substantial amounts, that have lost their crypto simply because maybe they were too naive, or they were too trusting, or they don't understand the technology. And what I want to do here is I want to break down the most common scams. So one thing, let's dive into this one. So this is an example that someone asked me about on Facebook, this specific website, Column Capital Inc. Now, I know nothing about these people, and what I'm sharing here is purely my opinion based on what I can find, and in my opinion, this looks like a big scam. Now, what happens is that anyone can create a website, okay? Anyone can create a website with an official sounding name, like an investment name, Column Capital Inc. It sounds authoritative, it sounds like there's something going on. So these are the steps that you need to know, that you need to follow. And what I simply do to figure out, is there any legitimacy behind it? And what is legitimacy? Well, if they are a trusted company, first of all, they're going to be around for a long time. They're going to have reviews, they're going to have social profiles, and their address is going to check out, their phone number is going to check out, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can literally spend about 5 to 10 minutes to find out very quickly if a website is legit or not. That's literally how long it takes. You don't need to do a lot of research. So don't, and this is common sense too, don't give your money to someone else to trade, especially not crypto, because when you send it to someone, you can't get it back. It's not like a credit card where you can file a chargeback. You send that crypto, it's gone, okay? Don't trust anyone that's going to trade on your behalf and promises you crazy returns. That's what it comes down to too. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, with yields, with projects, with people trading for you, crazy returns, Ponzi schemes, okay? It all sounds too good to be true. They prey on that. They want you to put aside your common sense because you're just so blinded by the greed of the big returns, okay? That's how it works. Don't fall for this, okay? If it sounds too good to be true, first of all, it usually is. Common sense here, okay? Secondly, no one is going to go and trade your money for you if they are so good and they know how to do it themselves, right? They're not going to go and take your $100 or $1,000 or $10,000, whatever it is, and trade it for you to get more returns. They would be doing it on their own. Now, if you do want to go and have someone trade it for you, you go to a well-known hedge fund with all the reputations, and a capital management firm or something like that, that has the credentials and the track records and the licenses, and maybe you go to their office in person, and that's a way to do that. But for the rest, Don't trust some random website or some person you meet on the internet or that messages you on social media. Just no, okay? The chance of that being legit is like 0.0000001%, and even that's probably too high. So getting back to the website, okay? We see this website. You know, it looks fancy, it looks nice, it looks professional. Column Capital, they got this ticker here with their crypto. They got these various pages, instant access to investing, anytime, anywhere. So recurring profits, instant benefits, blah, blah, blah. They're saying here why choose it. Very generic type of stuff, recurring buys, benefits of investing with us, well regulated. Yeah, that's another thing. Regulated by the Australian Securities and Exchange Commission. So we'll have to be able to verify that. If they say that, you have to check it out, right? So you can see over here, pricing plan, 200%, 300%. I don't even know what that means. 10% referral bonus, copy trades, maximize investments, live trade view, what we do. So first what I do is I scroll down to the bottom. They said something here about the Australian Stock Exchange, the ASIC, the Exchange, Australian Securities and Investment Commissions. But you go down here and they have a US address. Why would they have a US address? And they have a US phone number if they're talking about the Australian. So that's already a first red flag, okay? But okay, the first thing that we do is we go and see, is this address legit? So I go to Google Maps and I basically put in this address, okay? So we just copy it, very easy, go into Google Maps, boom, let's see what happens and what shows up. If it's a legit address, there should be an office there, right? So you can see over here, this is the location on Google Maps, and this is what it gives me, right? It's literally, there's nothing there, okay? It's a blank street, and this is the nice thing, anyone can do this. You can go on Google Maps. So they're trying to screw you over. It's basically, it's just an empty plot with for sale, right? Okay, massive red flag right there alone, okay, without even trying anything. Hey, they have a phone number. You can try and phone them. I haven't even done that. I'm not even going to bother. Just this address alone is already enough for me to say like, hey, this is absolute BS, okay? So where are all the regulations? Where's all the information about their licenses? You know, if you click on about, it doesn't even work. Oh, here we go. It's loading an about page. Let's see what comes up. So they have something generic here. Again, about. They show nothing about the founders, nothing about the team, nothing about the licenses, nothing. All of that stuff. It's basically just a massive red flag, okay? Even just this step alone. But in case you're still wondering, well, you know, maybe it'll be legit because you see even their social profiles, they aren't linking to anything, Facebook, Twitter, Google, there's nothing here, okay? So again, massive red scams. Then what we do is we check the domain. So what these scammers do is they typically just tend to buy a domain name, register it for like a year or 2 years, and then it's done. If this was a legitimate company, usually it would have a track record of multiple years. The domain would have been registered for a long time. So you can go to who.is, and it basically gives you information about when this domain was registered. So we put this in over here, columncapitalinc.com, and you can see it was registered in 2018-04-19. So just over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. That is not very long, especially for some sort of capital management firm. So again, that's a red flag. And if you do this with other websites, if you're checking, you know, and the domain was registered, you know, less than a year ago, well, that's usually a pretty big red flag also, because, you know, that's what scammers tend to do. And they've got it on Cloudflare. Now, there's a lot of legitimate businesses and websites that use Cloudflare, but again, also scammers will tend to use something like Cloudflare because it hides their servers, their domain name servers, for where they're hosting the website, so it's not easy to find them. It just puts another layer in between them, okay? So everything I'm seeing about the site is already a scam. You know, this place, the address is a scam. The phone number, they talk about Australia, they don't have licenses, they don't have a team member, nothing, okay? So all of this is already, to me, a big scam. The domain name, 2.5 years ago, also seems suspect. And then if you just simply go to Google and you put in their website and you put in scam, right? That's another thing. Just go and check for reviews. Are there any reviews here over here? And then you can just go and click around. It literally takes you 5 minutes, okay? So here, from the first page, Column Capital Partners, scam warners, you can see they had something in there, and they keep rinsing and repeating this. This is what scammers do. You know, they use a website, they use a Telegram account, they use whatever, they do it for a while, scam some people, and then they delete that account or that website, and they do the same thing just on a new name or a new account, right? That's what they do. So maybe previously here they were at column CP, you can see over here, and column dash CP. So they just keep moving it around and keep perpetuating the scam until eventually someone catches them. Hopefully they will, hopefully they'll be caught, because this is it's just terrible. And people do this over and over again. And you'll be surprised for how many people actually fall for this, especially older people, 50, 60, 70 plus, who are way too trusting and who will actually go and wire like 50 or 100 or $150,000 to these kind of scammers, and that money is gone, or send it in crypto, it's gone, right? Do not fall for this. Again, you can even go and see from one of the Google links here on sec.gov, the column capital partners, unregistered soliciting entities. So again, everything here points to me towards this being a scam, and this is basically the easiest way that you can spend 10 minutes to do your research to make sure that you don't get scammed. And like all of these things, basically just big red flag. Now let's move on to scam number 2. This is basically comments on social media, especially on YouTube. It happens a lot. I'm seeing it on pretty much every video I post. I get dozens and dozens of these spam comments. It happens on all channels lately. I don't know what is going on with YouTube, but there's basically automated bots, and they have tens of thousands, maybe millions of accounts that are just all posted these automated comments under YouTube videos. And it's smart, it's not just a spammy comment. They actually have multiple comments responding to each other, making it seem like a real conversation. And personally, I try and delete them as much of my videos as possible, but they're there all the time. Don't fall for this, You'll see something like this. Okay, Bitcoin just dropped, blah, blah, blah. And it feels like a real conversation. And then what tends to happen is they'll be like, go and email this person or WhatsApp them on this number, right? And you can see there's a lot of replies here, but these replies aren't real people. They're just other bots responding to the scam comment, making it seem like it's legitimate, which just gets people to fall for it. You read this, and if you're not aware that this is a scam, and you're maybe too trusting, you might be like, oh, this seems interesting. People are saying it's great, success story. And again, it's all driven by that greed, right? That makes you throw common sense out the window, and just, if someone is desperate or they just want those crazy returns, and they see this and they're like, maybe this is my chance. And people still fall for it. That's why these scams are happening. If people weren't falling for it, they wouldn't be doing this. But it is still working for these scammers, unfortunately. So do not fall for this, okay? Comments like this, don't believe social media. There's so much fakery, so much scams, so much bots. On Reddit also, so many bots. Articles are basically upvoted and put to the front page on purpose, not because they naturally get there, but because they're manipulated. And these articles can be scam articles or scam links, all designed to trick you and steal your information or steal your crypto, okay? So be very, very careful with social media and what you believe over there. Then, the other common mistake for crypto and how people get scammed is basically by clicking on links in emails from scammers, right? And what scammers tend to do is they tend to impersonate popular exchanges or hardware wallets or anything of the sort. They pretend to be that. So they make their name look exactly the same. They make their email address that they send from very, very similar, maybe with a different punctuation or one extra letter or something like that, so that if you just glance over it, you normally wouldn't spot it and you would think it's from the legitimate company. When you click on the link, it might install some malware, it might get your information, or it might just take you to a site that looks exactly like an exchange site, but it's actually a clone of that site on their own website. And if you enter your information in there, you're basically giving that information to them. And this is a big, big thing also, for example, with hardware wallets or anything like that, where you have to enter your private key, and they ask you for the private key. And that's basically like you voluntarily giving your crypto to them if you enter your private key on a website. Don't do this. Most websites, or almost all websites, will never ask you for a private key. Do not enter it unless you're 100% certain that that thing is 100% legit. Most of the time it won't be, right? So that's what I say. Most of these hacks that occur and how people lose their crypto is simply because they're voluntarily giving their information to the scammers, even though they don't know it, right? Like, I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose, but you're tricked into that. That's how these scammers operate. They trick people because the technology is new and it can be difficult and it's hard to distinguish. So people go and fall for it. They click on a link in an email because they think, it's the real thing. and before they know it, their crypto is gone or their passwords are hacked or whatever the case is. And a good example of this is the company Ledger, right? Huge company that has the hardware wallets for crypto. Their database got hacked. So 1 million customer emails and information, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff was exposed. So these scammers have this information and they can go around, which they've been doing nonstop for the last few weeks, emailing all these customers from Ledger lookalikes. So they make it seem like they're officially emailing from Ledger and they're saying, hey, you have to update something, or there's a problem, or there's an issue, click this link. If you click the link, well, either you get malware installed or you're going to some site that is not Ledger, where you have to enter your information. And if you enter anything there, it's all going to the scammers. And if you give them your private key, they log into your wallets, they drain your wallets, and your crypto is gone. Okay, so the lesson here basically is you never want to click on links in emails. And ideally, you want to have a separate email for anything you do with cryptocurrency exchanges. So you want to have different emails. One email for things that you sign up on a website for, right? Random, enter your email for promotions, whatever. One email like that. It doesn't matter if it gets hacked because it's just promotional stuff, right? In that one, you don't want to do any personal information. You don't want to make any purchases, nothing like that. Then you want to have a separate email for things where you purchase from online, whether it be from Amazon or whether it be, just from a website or subscriptions. You keep that separate in a different email address. And then you want to have a third email address, preferably encrypted, there's a few different encrypted email sites that you can go onto, like Proton Mail, for example, where you can create an email address. You want to add your two-factor authentication also. So, you have a password and a code that you need from your phone to be able to log in. And then you want to have that one dedicated for cryptocurrency exchanges, whether it's Coinbase, Binance, etc. So basically, you're only using that for crypto stuff. So that reduces the chance of anyone getting that address and being able to send you spam, because you'll get very few emails on there and you'll only be using it to basically transact with your crypto. Now, if you would have used that one to purchase your ledger, which you shouldn't, because you should have a separate one for your purchases, then you might get phishing emails, and it does happen. So what you want to make sure is that you don't actually click on any links in those emails. If you get an email from Binance, you want to check that it's they have an anti-phishing code, but just using this as an example, you get an email from Binance, don't click on the link in the email, simply go to your browser and type in binance.com. Okay, you get an email from Ledger, don't click on the link in the email, simply type in ledger.com, right? That's what you want to do. That'll help you avoid a lot of problems, okay? Just doing that. And like I said, if you have a different email for your purchases, well, if they would have hacked it over here, then you would only get those emails to that specific email and not your crypto exchange email. So you want to be safe with this kind of stuff. And the easiest way is really to separate your email addresses like this, and to be able to not click on links. That's very important. You can see over here, this is literally going out today even. They even have from that Ledger hack, they have the database of the customers, but also the phone numbers. So now they're even sending SMSs. And you can see over here, this is what they do. Perfect example of how they scam you if you don't understand how this works. So the address is ledger.com, right? So that is the official website. And when you see this at a glance, you see ledger.com, so you might think it's legitimate. But actually, the address over here is ledger.com. So the domain they bought is com-device.id46267.app. That is the domain. Ledger is a subdomain that they put onto it to make it look like it's ledger.com, but it's actually not ledger.com at all, right? So it's very, very deceptive. And at a glance, if you're not aware of how this works, at a glance, it actually looks like this might be a legitimate domain. If you click on that, that's 100% a scammer's website. And any information that you enter there, it's going straight to the scammers. You don't want to do that. And even by clicking on it, depending if it's on your phone, you might get some sort of malware on your phone. If it's on your computer, you might get some sort of malware or spyware or keyloggers or whatever installed. So just don't click on that. Be very, very careful with that. And then finally, the fourth most common way that people get hacked and lose their crypto is by installing faulty wallets or malware or scam wallets and scam extensions into their browsers or onto their desktop. So as you can see here, this post on Reddit, Chrome extension stole my BTC. Heads up, I had a Dogecoin ticker installed on my Mac. I went to withdraw BTC from Coinbase. The malware in the ticker replaced the deposit address with one of my own, and it's gone, right? So that's another thing. Because crypto is still new, okay? So there's still a lot happening, and there's all sorts of new technology and softwares and extensions and things being developed all the time. So there leaves a lot of room for error. So if you're going to be downloading a wallet or an extension, for MyEther wallet or for Icon or for MetaMask or whatever it is, you want to be 100% sure that you are actually installing the real and official version. Because if you just go to the Google Chrome store or the Play Store or whatever, the iOS store on Apple, anyone can submit an app, right? So people are cloning and making these fraudulent apps. People are installing it thinking it's the official thing, entering their private keys, and as soon as you do that, you're basically giving the hacker your private keys, they drain your wallet, and it's gone. Or for example, like this extension, you install it, and every time you do a copy paste, it basically just replaces your addresses with the hacker's address. So if you don't double check that, you can just copy and paste, it replaces it, and you basically send the transaction directly to the scammer's account, even though you thought you were sending it to your own. So very, very sneaky. You want to be very careful with installing any sort of desktop wallets, mobile apps, or Chrome extensions. And you want to make 100% sure that it is actually the official thing. And if you ever have to enter your private key, which sometimes you need to do. For example, with MetaMask, if you want to restore your MetaMask wallet on a new computer, you don't have the MetaMask extension, if you install it, you're going to have to enter either your seed phrase or your private key to restore your wallet. Okay, so there are certain cases where you need to do that, but be very, very careful. And if an extension just randomly pops up and asks you for your seed phrase or your private key, do not just randomly enter it in there. Go and double check, triple check, 10 times check before you enter anything, and make sure that it's the official real deal. Go and watch YouTube videos, go and ask on a forum if you have to see if it's real. Because as soon as you enter that information, if it's a fraudulent thing and it belongs to a scammer, your crypto is going to disappear very quickly, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? You can go and file a police report. There are a couple of firms who specialize in tracking stolen crypto and trying to recover it for you, but again, there's no guarantees that they can do that. If you had crypto stolen, I would recommend file a police report and find some firm that can go and see if they can recover and find these criminals for you and recover your crypto. But I don't know what the chances are of that happening. So please be very, very safe. Crypto is new, it's exciting, there's a lot of potential for upside, but there's also a lot of scammers that are constantly looking to steal your cryptocurrency, and these are the most common ways that you can get scammed. Okay, if you avoid these, it's going to be much harder for you to get hacked. Another one, which is just very quick, very simple, is please do not store your private keys or your passwords anywhere digital. Do not keep them in a notepad on your computer. Do not keep them in a notepad in your phone. Okay, do not store them in your email. Do not take a photo of them. Anything that's digital like that can be compromised, and that just leaves you open to being hacked. So what you want to do with private keys and passwords is literally just write them down on a pen and piece of paper and keep them somewhere safe in a vault. You can also have it engraved on a piece of steel if you really want, but just don't keep them online anywhere digital, because if there's malware or anything, photos, who knows what is on your computer and who has access to anything. So just don't keep it digital. That'll help keep you much safer. And doing those 4 things plus not keeping your passwords digital, that should protect you a lot more and hopefully keep your crypto safe. So be very, very careful with this. It's always better to take your time and double, triple, quadruple check before you do something with crypto, just to make sure that your crypto is safe. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, leave a comment if I missed any other common scams or methods. Feel free to contribute. Let me know what you think. Please be safe with your crypto, because it could end up being worth a lot of money one day in the future. So thanks for watching. Don't forget about my Black Friday deal. It expires midnight Eastern time, Monday, 30 November. Right now, it's still lifetime access if you join before the timer hits 0. 60-day money-back guarantee. Would love to have you in the community and share my knowledge and experience and content and research with you. So hopefully, I'll see you on the inside. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.